Okay, where are those people who wanted a newsreader? You see now why I wanted to identify you before we started, you see. You always wanted to be a newsreader on RTE Radio and Television. Okay, have a go. Would you listen to this, Rory, please?
Yes,
listen to this,
yes,
please, very attentively. Okay, PA on this, read that.
The film director says his next project is a tremendous vehicle for his favourite actor. It's a new film entitled The H-Bomb, and it's about harassment, riots, and violence in general.
Every one of them. Every one of them. Film?
My lips are sealed.
Tremendous. Instead of tremendous. Vehicle?
Vehicle. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a new film entitled The H-Bomb.
H-bomb, thank you.
And it's about harassment, did you say, or harassment?
Harassment,
You said, it's harassment.
Right.
Riots and violence.
Oh, I'm afraid so. A touch of the Don Coburns, I'm afraid.
Oh, Don Coburn does not say violence.
Oh my goodness, I listed, look, do you know what started all this off? One night he was in very bad form and he distorted 6 sounds, plus riot, plus violence. I sent in a letter to the RTE guide. I felt sorry for him. They not alone published the sounds, but his photograph as well. I did feel sorry about it, but quite frankly, those were the sounds that hit my ear that night, and honestly, I was distressed.
Who else wants to have a crack? Oh, you're brave. Okay. I'm sorry about you didn't win the Concorde trip, but have a go at that then. Okay, here we go.
The film director says his next project is a tremendous vehicle for his favourite actor. It's a new film entitled The H-Bomb, and it's about harassment, riots and violence in general. And can I just say, Gay, I was in Darren Green's class in school. So I speak just as nicely as Darren does.
I saw nothing wrong there. I saw nothing wrong there, Mr. Grealish.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Well done, you see, Darren Green's class. Who else? Yourself. Okay, have a go at that then. Man with the tie, yes.
The film director says his next
Hold on for a moment. Yes, start again, please.
The film director says his next project is a tremendous vehicle for his favourite actor. It's new film entitled The H-Bomb, and it's about harassment, riots and violence in general.
What do you do for a living?
Farming.
Grand job, stick to it. Yes, Rory, what about that?
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Where are you from?
Ballylongford.
Oh.
Ballylongford, County Kerry.
What is the matter with that accent? It's a lovely music.
No, but you're confusing two terms. You see, there's accent and intonation, you see.
Yes.
When you admire, what you're calling accent is actually the intonation. So, this is the point I make, you see.
Yes. I see. Anybody else now? One more. Okay, lady up there right at the back in red. She was the first one to put up her hand before the show. Yes.
The film director says his next project is a tremendous vehicle for his favourite actor. It's a new film entitled The H-Bomb, and it's about harassment, riots and violence in general.
Harassment.
And violence.
Violence.
So it is prevalent, you see. When you begin listening to people, 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Okay.
The second lady was the best.
Yes.
They're imposing, though, imperial standards.
Brendan Kennelly again. Here we go again.
Well, I'm not Brendan Kennelly now.
No, but this is the sort of language he uses, imposing.
Just because he imposes, makes the statement, it doesn't mean that I'm the same as him. I grew up in the city where they were meant to speak the best English in the world, except for
Who said that? He said that to annoy the English.
Who, Shaw?
Yes, that's why he said it.
I think Shaw was, as a man, he after all, he left most of his money to found an institute of phonetics. So I think he was at least as interested in it as you were. And he thought that the Dublin accent was a particularly good one. And growing up here, I don't see why I should take my standards from an imperial class who developed an accent simply to keep other people in their place. That's what the English accent is about, the English upper class accent, so that if anybody...
We will have a small experiment. We have asked 5 people down here to have cards, and we've given them a marker pen.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And we want you to read a piece of news.
Well,
So that just as you have marked out of 10 various people reading the news there, would you read this piece of news?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
That's right. Oh, that's right.
Newspaper,
Yes. Oh, that's right.
yes. Okay, so would you read that,
I will
please?
certainly, yes.
And all we want you 5 to do is mark out of 10, whatever you think. 2 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10, whatever it is, okay? Just put it down with your marker. Are you ready? Listen to
Certainly,
this.
yes. Hello and good evening. This is the 9 o'clock news from RTE. The Anglo-Irish Meat Group is to take over the Waterford Clover meat plant. It's the first section of the enterprise, which also includes plants at Wexford and Clonmel, to be sold by the receiver. The purchase price is understood to be about £2 million, and our agricultural correspondent says talks for the takeover of the plants at Clonmel and Wexford are at an advanced stage. However, the Irish Farmers Association branch in Waterford has said no cattle will be supplied to any of the Anglo-Irish meat plants in the country until over £2 million owed to farmers by Clover Meats is paid. Good night.
Marks, please, out of 10. Would you hold up your marks, please? Well, you have 1 score of 10, 2 scores of 10. Hold up your marks. 1 score of 2 and 2 of 9. So there's 2 9s, 2 10s and 1 2. He's biased, don't mind him.
Slightly prejudiced.
Slightly prejudiced.
Forget, there were monstrous phrases there, if I may say it. Instead of saying purchase, you said purchase. Purchase. You don't hear yourself. I don't think you've ever heard a tape yourself, Rory, or you'd have a hysterectomy.
You don't have a hysterectomy. It is something that's done to
Sorry,
you. Go on.
But also, this thing about the long A and the short A.
Yes.
Plant.
Now, the long A is north of England, and it's Irish, and I don't see why we should say plant instead of plant. Plant came before plant, which
It's
was
posher. It's posher. It sounds more posh.
well, yes, it's part of the imperial thing. It's part of the idea of putting people in their place by
I
accent.
thought the British Empire had died years ago, to be honest with you.
Well, the accent hasn't. They still live. It's like a limb that's been removed. They live on with the pain of it, and they keep on.
They do it just to annoy you, Lick.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
I'd
Sorry.
like to ask Rory's comments on the fact that foreign students come to Dublin
Yes.
because the Dubliners are supposed to have the most understandable English sounds in the world.
That comes across to me, and that is perfectly true. The one thing, because TEFL, as we all know, and I mean anybody who dabbles in this sort of thing, we've all tried teaching English to foreign people and so on. We all know the Spanish come over in flocks, and it's very, very big business. You know, teaching English as a foreign language is very big business. And what comes across to me is the sheer pleasure that they really understand us. Whatever accent, inverted commas, dialect, but they say we're very, very easy to understand. And this, in my work, I knock at a lot of doors and so on, and they all say we're terribly easy to understand. And I think that's a marvellous compliment, that Hiberno English, as we call it, Irish English, is terribly easy to understand. Do you know, Ged, that there are 25 vowels in the standard English system? It's riddled with diphthongs. There are at least 8 and 5 triphthongs. There are only 3 diphthongs in Irish English: by, boy, cow. It's child's play to them, and it's big money for us.
Does it matter as long as people understand what one is saying?
Oh, it matters enormously, because, you see, you mustn't... urban dialect in every... is normally disliked, you see. Rural dialect is admired, you see. But, for example, the Cockneys, everyone laughs their heads off with the dropping of the H's and might and all the rest of it, you see. Well, our equivalent here is strong Dublin dialect, and frankly, it always irritates me. I have a sort of a paranoia about it. I'm not looking in your direction because you speak Montrose Standard, Dublin 4.